25 years. That's longer than the buffalo wing's been around. Lips are burning.
Geico. Over 85 years of savings and service.
And a welcome to you inside Carver Arena here in downtown Peoria. A huge day of league play ahead, a lot on the line, including in this one. It's Bradley against Murray State right here on the Valley on ESPN. Again, good afternoon, everyone, with Matt McLean. I'm Brian Beto. And Matt, Murray State trying to sweep the season series. Bradley on the other end. They always seem to play their best basketball towards the end of the year. That's the case again this year as they look for their 6th straight win.
That's right, with just 5 games remaining in the regular season. Bradley is tied for first place alongside Drake and Southern Illinois, so another really big opportunity for them today to get another victory and keep pace with those front runners in the league.
Let's highlight a player from both sides. We'll start with the Racers and Rob Perry.
Yeah, Rob Perry is kind of their do-it-all guard who kind of runs the offense a little bit too, their leading scorer. And you talk about being able to score in bunches. He has a 30-point performance this season against Valparaiso. He scored in double figures in 19 of their 25 games. Their offense kind of runs through him, and a lot of their guards like to get to the basket. Rob Perry's their catalyst.
And for the Braves, 1/2 of the Flying Dutchman in Rink Mast.
Yeah, that's right. Rink Mast has been playing absolutely sensational this season since returning from his knee injury early in the year. Coming off a really good performance against Illinois State last time out in a rivalry win on the road with 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 5 assists as well. He kind of does everything for Bradley on the offensive end. Defensive on that side of the floor too. He's a big part of Bradley's success. Look for a big performance from Rink Mast this evening.
All right, Matt, we're about ready to go. Let's quickly give you the starters. First for the visiting Racers, who come in at 13-12. They're 8-7 in the Valley, trying to stay above 500 in both those categories today. They'll run out the aforementioned Rob Perry. There you get a look at him. Jacoby Wood, who actually leads the Valley in minutes. Jamari Smith, DJ Byrne, who had a great game the last time out against Bradley, and Brian Moore Jr. will round it out for Murray State. Bradley, on the other hand, a very familiar look as we've seen most of the season. And they will run out. We talked about Rink Mast. You'll see Duke Dean, Malavi Leon, Zeke Montgomery, the sophomore, and a fellow sophomore, Connor Hickman, rounded out for the Braves. Again in the script, throwback jerseys that have treated the Braves well here at home.
Second game in a row wearing those. They even wore them on the road. The whites, the Bradley script at Illinois State, the last win out. ISU opting for a red out, and Bradley said, okay, we'll wear the whites on the road, no problem.
And it fared well there.
They
just
did.
Down the road as well. Again, Murray State with a 9-point win earlier this year, and the 16th ever matchup between these two programs is underway as the Racers control the tip. A lot of ball screens the Braves will anticipate seeing today as Burns slips in the lane, goes up and lands. Who leads the Valley in blocks, gets his first one on the opening trip here this afternoon.
Beautiful shot fake by Burns down there. It looked like he's going to have a nice clean look at a bucket. Malvi Leons comes over and swats it away.
Smith the rebound on the Mass 3 attempt. Again, the Racers coming off a loss against Drake at home in a matchup they were really never in from the outset. It's actually sort of the opposite for Bradley on Wednesday night at Illinois State, as that one in and out, touched every part but didn't go down. Bradley jumped on Illinois State early, never really looked back, and on the flip side, Drake and Tucker DeVries hit a couple of big threes early, and the Racers could never get back into it.
Yeah, Drake in that game got out to a 21-5 start in the first 6 minutes of the game, and Murray State could never really crawl back. You see right here, 2 defensive possessions to start here for the Racers, and they get 2 stops.
Here's Wood. In the corner now, Moore backs it out with Hickman on him. Again, Hickman a couple of games ago, a season high, career high, 17 at Northern Iowa. As backing into the defender is Wood, and a whistle, and our first foul of the contest is going to be called on Bradley. There was 5 to shoot, so it'll reset to 20 for the Racers. a scoreless affair here in the first minute 41 seconds. Racers just 2-9 on the road. Bradley, as we've alluded to all year, has been dominant here at home. 12-1, the lone blemish against Belmont. That one flipped up and in by Jacoby Wood, averaging just under 11 points per game. And the very good crowd at Carver heads to their seats for the first time today. There's Dean. Steps into a jumper. That one too strong, and the rebound to Perry.
Yeah, strong defensive start here from Murray State. Duke Dean unable to get that jumper to go, and now looking for a 3-ball.
That one in and out. Murray State that's not their strength, is shooting the 3-ball. They've made the least amount in the league, second to last in 3-point percentage. They've got some guys certainly capable of knocking him down, but typically not where the Racers want to live.
Yeah, usually their bread and butter is in the paint. They shoot just 32% from three-point land.
Montgomery gets his man in the air. Bradley, on the other hand, has been deadly from three, not this time. Very good here at home, but second in the league, near 37% from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and 0 for 4 from the floor here early on for the Braves. You see a nice blow-by on the baseline. It's Moore.
Yeah, Moore averaging under 9 points per game. He gets the bucket. He began his career at Northeastern Oklahoma A&M. Actually had a 47-point game there, certainly capable of putting up big numbers. He gets his first field goal.
Yeah, Moore's one of those players who, as the season's gone on, has really come into his own, really playing well as of late. Guess who's also playing well as of late? Malvi Leon's nice backdoor off the feed from Rink Mast as well.
Coming off a 21-point performance at Illinois State. That was the most he'd scored since his 32-point outbreak against Merrimack earlier in the season.
Yeah, just a beautiful 1-2 combo there between Mast and Leons. They know each other so well, and a beautiful backdoor.
Perry, a terrific one-on-one player, splashes one in from the right wing.
Yeah, we talked about his scoring prowess at the top of the broadcast, and right there is exactly what he wants to do. Take his man a one-on-one, a nice mid-range jumper.
Montgomery knocks down the Braves' first triple, shooting nearly 50% from three, and he knocks down his first attempt here this afternoon.
Yeah, now at exactly 50% on the season. That's his 27th make out of 54 attempts. Zeke Montgomery has been an absolute revelation from behind the arc this year for the Braves.
Perry. Now Smith right side for Moore.
And this was a matchup that Murray State really tried to emphasize in the first matchup between these two teams. Burns going one-on-one on the block, and right there you see the nice baseline jumper.
Good find by Hickman to Mast, who takes the extra dribble. He couldn't finish, but I didn't hear the whistle. It did blow, and it's going to go on Burns. And it will be a two-shot foul. So Mast to the line when we come back. 15:40 remaining here in the half. Murray State out to a 3-point lead on the Valley on ESPN.
Us. This isn't us. Is it?
Uh-huh.
Let's take a break from our devices for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes. And let's see what we find.
Hey, bud.
US Cellular. Built for us.
Everyone gets a BK stacker.
Tiny dancer.
2 linebackers.
To each their own. Burger, swagger, satisfaction buffet.
At BK, have it your way.
You get a look at the last matchup just over a month ago at Murray, with the Racers a 9-point win over Bradley. DJ Burns, the double-double, and Steve Prohm's squad, balanced effort outside of that, played very well and led that most of the way. Bradley got close in the second half, but the Racers, one of their more complete performances of the season.
Yeah, and really neutralized Rink Mast in that game too. Rink Mast got into a little bit of foul trouble in the first half, only scored 3 points on 1 field goal, so that was a big key for Murray State in that game.
Let's turn the page to today's game. And, you know, we're 4 minutes in, Matt, but let's take a look at our keys to the game, brought to you by your Peoria area Toyota dealers.
Yeah, we'll start first with Murray State, and it's getting out to a fast start. And right now, doing a pretty good job of a 3-point advantage here, 4 points into the game. But their last contest versus Drake, we mentioned already, down 21-5 after the first 6 minutes. So really important for them to stay really close here early on, as they have, and finding good looks, you know, working the paint, trying to get the ball, kick it out to the perimeter. Make sure you're shooting at a high percentage. They've done that so far with Rob Perry knocking down a couple and getting their offense off to a nice start. So far for Bradley as well, their keys to the game. Defending the paint is going to be big. You know, uncharacteristically, they were out-rebounded in that loss at Murray State. They also lost the points in the paint battle in that contest as well. And then staying out of trouble as well. You're talking about limiting your fouls, especially in the front court. Murray State, very aggressive. They like to get to the free throw line. So those are the keys to the game.
Justin Morgan was bumped on his way in. That's going to go on Jashawn Henry, who just checked in for the first time, along with Ville Tavanainen. Morgan, the lone freshman in the rotation for Murray State. A lot of guys that are in their first year at Murray State, but were at a different program a year ago. But they're very excited about the freshman from Memphis in Justin Morgan, as good personnel recognition by the Braves, and they'll allow that three, but Smith, at least on this trip, makes them pay. Yeah, Smith, a 30% three-point shooter and a player that Bradley hasn't seen this season. He missed that game earlier in the season against the Braves with an illness, and he's a guy who can kind of stretch the floor. He's a big body. You see him guarding Mass here on the defensive end as well, so it kind of can do a little bit of both. You see him knock down the three ball. Looking for Mass, they find him. And this is where Rink Mass is going to want to go one-on-one against Smith. Absolutely nice back down, but just can't get it to go. Henry keeps it alive. In an awkward spot's going to go up anyway, and it doesn't matter, and he gets the deuce. He's the king of making the awkward look so routine. He just keeps his pivot foot, and just really, really good job there, and patience by Jashawn Henry to get that bucket to go. The Jacoby Wood, who averages 4.5 assists per game at the point for Murray State, draws the double back up top to Smith, who gets a lane. That is blocked by Connor Hickman, who read that beautifully. Tremendous help side defense. Hickman, jump stop. He's cut off by Morgan. Back to Leons. They're looking to post up on the entry pass to Henry. Henry bullies his way in. Same spot, different result as that one hits off the front of the iron and Perry the rebound. Really good job by Perry holding his ground there, making a tough look for Henry, who really fancies himself one-on-one on the block down there, and Perry wins that battle. Moore peels back near midcourt. Now here's Wood, who I said earlier leads the Valley in minutes. He's on the floor virtually the entire game, splits the defense, but was held up in a late whistle, and it's going to give Murray State 13 extra seconds to work with here. Shot clock reset to 20. Yeah, you mentioned the importance of Wood and what he brings to this team. He plays over 36 minutes a game, and I mean, my goodness, he's a great assist to turnover ratio, just under 2. So does a really good job of kind of running this offense and doing a good job of just kind of getting everybody involved, and averages 3 assists a game as well. Just beyond the elbow, that one's off right. And the rebound to Montgomery. And he'll bring it up. Ville Tavanainen on the baseline. Good ball movement by the Braves. Great closeout by Wood. And then the entry pass to Mass. He's on the low block, guarded by Burns. Look at this matchup. Baseline again, fading his mask, and that one's too strong, and an over the back is going to be called on Jashawn Henry. Yeah, Rink Mass, a really good one-on-one player right there on the block, the fadeaway, unable to get that one to go. Jashawn Henry picks up the foul, going for the offensive rebound. He's going to go to the bench with his second foul. Yeah, big foul on Henry. He'll head to the bench as well as Mass, as Darius Hanna checks in for the first time this afternoon. And Moore will bring it up. Burns. Hands to Perry. And there's a takeaway. Tremendous movement there on the defensive end from Zeke Montgomery, and Perry tries to get it right back. And it's funny because Murray State does an excellent job taking care of the basketball. They don't force a ton of turnovers, but they also don't have a lot of unforced errors offensively. Leon spinning in, and I don't think he knew what he wanted to do with it originally, but he draws the contact. Hey, he kind of got up in the air, and he's like, I guess I better shoot this. He feels the contact, but really good job there. Malvi Leons catches it in the corner. Sees his man's giving up the baseline, and a little spin, draw the contact, go to the line for 2 free throws. And Leon's one of the Braves' strongest foul shooters at 76%. Misses the first. He's got 1 block already, just needs 9 now to finish in top 10 of blocks in a single season in Bradley history. Gets the bounce on number 2, and the Braves are within 1. And they'll pick up with a little backcourt pressure. Perry, the 6'4 junior out of Orlando. Junior eligibility, he did spend 3 years at Stetson. Was a 1,000-point scorer there. High screen and roll they give to Burns, who goes downhill, and he finishes with the right off the glass. Strong move by Burns.
Yeah, right on down Main Street between Hannah and Leons, the two prolific shot blockers for the Braves. So Burns just powers through them. Great finish there for two.
Dean off the ball screen from the foul line, too strong, and the rebound again to Moore,
yeah,
sophomore from Harlem.
Pardon me, Brian. Good look for Duke Dean right there. A little mid-range pull-up jumper, just a little bit too strong. Really need him to get going for the Braves.
Again, the pass to Burns. Hannah on him. Burns goes towards the middle, goes back with the pivot foot, kept it on the ground, gets his own rebound, can't get it to go, and Tavanine in the rebound.
Yeah, you see the energy that Burns brings to the ball game, though, as well as a prolific offensive rebound, as well as a bruiser down there for the Racers. Good start for him, just unable to get that one to go.
Crowd wants a foul. Dean draws in, floats one up, and can't get the home bounce. Wood will bring it up left side. Good start for the Racers, who have led the whole way so far. Burns on the pick and pop. Drives in, now floats one up with the left, and Leon certainly influenced that one.
Yeah, Bradley trying to get out in transition there, but really good job by Murray State stopping the ball and preventing any fast break opportunities for the Braves now as they settle into the half court.
Hannah gives to Montgomery. Steps back for three. That's in and out.
Man,
great look.
Bradley just can't get it to go right now. Had a couple really, really good looks go in and out. Zeke Montgomery, the latest, and his step back game has been really, really good as of late for the Braves. Just can't get that one to go.
Burns wants it with Montgomery on him, but he's pushed out beyond the arc. And now he hands to Morgan, catch and shoot three. That's down for Justin Morgan, who came in at just 28% from three, but he knocks that one down, and the Racers lead by 6.
Yeah, you got to give the Racers offense a ton of credit here early on, coming out and shooting at a really high clip, 7 of 9 from the floor, and really being able to get what they want on the offensive side so far.
And they'll take a 6-point lead into the timeout. Bradley basketball. When we come back, you're watching the Valley on ESPN.
And what if I need help picking a plane?
State Farm's here to help.
What up, Bo?
Okay, guys.
What if he's not actually 7'4"?
We good? Yeah, we good. Good work today, boys. Oh, it's 11.
At State Farm, we're there for your what-ifs. Get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
There it is, the largest gig speed network. It's so fast, it's game on for the whole house. Okay, you spent way too much time rehearsing that. The champ here, his gig speeds run on Can't Catch Me Wi-Fi. And these upstairs all-nighters rock Wi-Fi speeds faster than a gig.
We booked a gig?
Not that kind of gig. We're talking about Xfinity X5. It puts the gig in gig speed.
Bradley University student-athletes live their sport, so when an injury occurs, they need a team of specialists focused and ready to get them back in action. The sports medicine doctors at OSF Healthcare, in partnership with Great Plains Orthopedics, are specially trained to restore function to injured athletes so they can get back to competing as soon as possible. OSF Healthcare and Great Plains Orthopedics are proud to be the official sports medicine providers for Bradley Athletics.
Murray State 16, Bradley 10. 10-12 to go here in the first half. Brian Beto and Matt McLean. Bradley comes into today's action, as Matt mentioned earlier, tied for first in a 3-way tie with Drake and Southern Illinois. By the end of today, they'll either be a team alone in first, depending on the outcome of this one, or a 2-way tie, because Drake and Southern are playing currently, and the Bulldogs out to a roaring start. 24-4 over SIU in that one. Belmont and Indiana State both in action right now as well. We'll keep you updated on those contests. Missouri State will be in action tomorrow. And then you got the bottom 4. So it seems like, you know, all year that the top 8 have somewhat been set as far as those 8. The order is certainly a lot still to be determined.
Yeah, well, absolutely. To mention that top 8's kind of separated themselves from the rest of the league, but still near the 9, 10, 11, 12 range. I mean, those teams are still being highly competitive. We saw Evansville pick up their first win the other night, and Illinois State's given Bradley a couple of fits this season too. So overall, a really, really strong season so far for the Missouri Valley Conference.
Yeah, that double overtime Valpo against Drake. Finger roll flipped up and in by Connor Hickman, and a good result out of the timeout as per usual for Ryan Wardle and company for the Braves.
Yeah, and a much-needed bucket there, too, for the Braves. Kind of end a little bit of a scoring drought there as Murray State had run off the last 5 points up to that point. And so doing a good job of kind of getting some of that momentum back.
Kenny White Jr. into the ball game for the first time. Backing up is Smith, who knocked down a triple earlier. And he'll try another here. Not this time, and Hickman secures the board. Hickman to bring it up. There's Dean. Good sequence defensively so far for the Racers. Mass at the high post. He puts it on the floor, draws the double, tries to save it, but that's taken away by Wood, who leads the team now with 39 steals. There's a left wing 3, but first a travel is going to be called on White.
Yeah, terrific job by the Racers. They're coming over and doubling Rink Mast. Mast just unable to see it real quick and before the ball gets stripped. Wood ahead to Moore. Really good transition offense, but White gets called for the travel. Unfortunate.
Murray State 7 of 10 from the floor against a Bradley team who leads the Valley in field goal percentage defense, just 40%. The Braves are allowing to the opposition. Teardrop in the lane, no. Mass to follow, no again, as he's had trouble finishing at the rim so far this afternoon.
Yeah, and another beautiful set there from the Braves. Got Hickman coming off the screen and just curls it. He misses a good look, so does Mast. And Bradley wanting those back, and here comes Darius Hanna.
Here comes Hanna! Here comes Hanna with the big flush.
The one-handed slam as he takes it coast to coast. Darius Hanna gets the Carver Arena faithful on their feet.
You know, Jacob Steinberg, the director of creative production, wanted me to do the WWE JR call. If Hanna got a dunk like that, I can't do it justice. So went to the normal one here.
You're not cooking up any barbecue?
I can't do it. Left wing 3 for Wood, and a big shot for Jacoby Wood to quiet down this Carver crowd who was electrified after the Hanna slam.
Yeah, and a terrific answer. Wood shooting 32% from behind the arc this season. Gets that one to go, and then a big moment as well. We're going to get a foul here on that Duke Dean attempt.
So Dean will shoot 2. When we come back, Murray State's led the whole way so far. They lead by 5 right now here on the Valley on ESPN.
Us. This isn't us. Is it? When did we get so connected to our devices and so disconnected from each other? And when our phones have turned us into this? LT? What do you do when you're a company that sells them?
We gotta fix this.
It's time to find what we're missing. Join us in taking a break from our devices. Take the phones down for 5 challenge for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes. Feels good. And let's find us again. US Cellular, built for us.
Everyone gets a BK stacker.
Tiny dancer.
2 linebackers.
To each their own. Burger, swagger, satisfaction buffet.
At BK, have it your way.
Brian Beto and Matt McLean, the Racers out to a 5-point lead here on the road. We talked about the standings earlier, Matt, a 3-way tie atop first place. And let's take a look at the schedule side by side the rest of the way. So including today, we have 5 games for each of Bradley, SIU, and Drake. Drake, like I mentioned a minute ago, all over SIU in the onset in Des Moines. But here's the remaining schedule. So these teams all play each other, including today, one more time, and those if these teams take care of business against teams below them in the standings, the head-to-head matchups against these three is really going to dictate seeding positioning when it comes to Arch Madness in just a few short weeks.
Yeah, without a doubt. And how exciting to draw it up this way. This is basically what Missouri Valley Conference would say, that they won a really close race coming down to the end of the season with 5 games left. You know, these 3 teams tied for first place. There's several behind who still are thinking they have an outside chance as well, too, maybe at a regular season championship. So really coming down the wire, some really, really entertaining games coming up and a lot to look forward to, but a big one here in Peoria, no doubt this afternoon.
Dean makes a pair. His first points of the ball game. He'll head out. Zeke Montgomery comes back in, and the Braves once again show pressure.
It's a little bit of a full court 1-2-2 zone press here from the Braves. Get Murray State out of their comfort zone a little bit and now fall back into a 1-3-1 zone. We've seen a lot of length here in the front court here for Bradley with Hannah at the point. You got Leons and Montgomery on the wings and Rick Mast in the middle. That's a lot of length and a lot of room to, don't have a lot of room there to negotiate.
Yeah, it creates so many difficult passing angles.
And just 3 to shoot now.
And now here's a steal. Hannah once again, one-on-one this time. He had it flipped and taken away, but right into the arms of Leons. Hickman's 3. And the rebound to White. Let's see if the Racers push it. All the way in is White, and he's met at the rim by Leons.
My goodness, White looking up like he's gonna go and finish at the rim, but Malavi Leons on the trail, the block, and now the 3.
Couldn't get it to go. And now the Racers get the rebound.
Catch your breath a little bit. That was a really fun 40 seconds. No points come out of it, but my goodness, athleticism being displayed on both ends of the floor. A really high octane moment there.
Step back 3 from Moore is short, and chasing it down is Quincy Anderson, who just checked in for the first time.
Yeah, a player that they bring off the bench who provides a big spark. Anderson gets him a second chance opportunity, but they can't convert and keeps it alive again.
Leons rips it away from Anderson, and he's fouled. Just the 15th foul on the Racers. And Perry will check back in for Murray State as well as Burns. Christian Davis into the ball game as well for Bradley. Hickman acting as the point. Current lineup construction will bring it up for the Braves, who again have trailed the entire way. And you knew Murray State, after really struggling on the onset against Drake, you were going to see a different team. You had to figure Steve Prohm would energize them going into this one, and that's certainly been the case. As Leon spins baseline, goes up too strong. Mast will put it back up and in.
Yeah, always active on the offensive glass. Rink Mast keeps that play alive, tips it up to himself, puts it right back in. He's up to 4 points now this afternoon.
Yeah, first field goal of the ball game for Mast. He's got Bradley within 1. Up top for Smith. On the screen, Perry glides in reverse off the glass and good. Terrific move by Rob Perry.
Yeah, and an overall really, really good set from Murray State there as well. And Perry getting back and playing that passing lane, knocking it out of bounds. I want to go back to that offensive set. Perry comes off of the screen on the baseline, catches in the corner. Looks like he's going to have a good look at a 3-shot fake and just a beautiful job driving baseline and finishing on the reverse.
He's grimacing a little bit as he hit the deck hard on that reverse layup. Hickman gets the high ball screen. One-handed flip pass in the opposite corner. Here's Davis. He's met by Burns. Back to Montgomery. 11 to shoot. Hickman goes baseline. Davis, or beg your pardon, Montgomery couldn't finish at the rim. And now Wood the other way for the Racers. Perry, deep 3 from the top of the circle, no good, and it's chased down by Hickman.
And you see the pace of the game picking up a little bit here as well, too. Both teams getting into the half court and trying to get a good opportunity here as Bradley now operates.
Davis thought about it.
And they got Mast underneath on the seal, but a skip instead to Montgomery.
In and out. It's been sort of the theme of the first half for the Braves. Great look for Zeke Montgomery, every part but down. Moore will slow things up. Again, an excellent crowd here at Carver, and it's a really nice day in Central Illinois for mid-February.
Yeah, I could be playing this game outside, honestly, with how crummy it's been as of late. A beautiful day and have a good game inside here. And Murray State is a little careless with that one. Looks like Woods trying to feed it down low to Burns, but just the lob goes a little bit too far and a turnover.
A very clean game in that category. That's just the 3rd turnover on Murray State, as Burns a little slow to get back. He appears to be all right. Bradley with just 1 turnover. And Dean will check back in for the Braves. And a crowd that's been raring to get into this one. Gets his man in the air, does Leons. Zips it other side, Davis to tie it. He does.
Oh, beautiful job there by Malvi Leons, working along the baseline. He's like 5 feet out of bounds, it looked like. Sings it out to the corner, and Davis knocks down the triple. Big moment there for Davis coming off the bench.
Burns. Really denying Wood. They get it to Perry. Davis on him. Perry drives, stops, and can't get it to go. Tavanainen, that's one of those like take foul. I think Brian Wardle's thinking that could have been the intentional variety, but it will be just a common foul, and the Braves will have it out of the timeout. 3:26 to go. Bradley will shoot for their first lead of the afternoon here at Carver, right here on the Valley on ESPN.
Dear All-Wheel Drive, let's show the road what we've got. Snowy streets, we're coming for you. Icy grip, we're holding tight. Wintry mix, meh. Safety's the name of our game. Yours, Toyota All-Wheel Drive sedans.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the great state where you'll find hearts bigger, beating truer, and always wide open. Country miles with never-ending pride, virtues and values, and colors that run deep. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we were born and raised in the land of Lincoln. And like you, we'll always be here, standing for all. Blue Cross and Blue Shield, nationwide strong, Illinois born.
Tied at 21 with 3:26 remaining here in the first half. You get a look at the Murray State huddle. Somewhere in there is Steve Prohm, his first year back at Murray State. Spent 4 magnificent years with the Racers, 2011 to 2015. 104-29 record.
78% win percentage.
Which is
wild.
Yeah, the 2012 team that won a game in the NCAA tournament, a pair of OVC titles as well. Spent 6 years at Iowa State previously, and now back at Murray State with a pretty much brand new roster going into this season. We said earlier, a lot of these guys at different programs a year ago, and trying to mold this into a team and program that can once again compete for a conference title like they did pretty much perennially in the Ohio Valley.
Yeah, every year in the OVC, it was them and Belmont at the top, and you know, they come into the Missouri Valley Conference and don't really miss a step. I mean, both teams doing a tremendous job here in their first year in the Valley. And you talk about Murray State and the job that Steve Prohm has done. You mentioned the roster turnover. Pretty much everyone is new to the team except for TJ Burns. It's only his 2nd year in the program too, so doing a terrific job of competing in the Valley this season and, you know, being a big part of this terrific season for the entire league.
Hannah on the low block, squares up, driving in, goes up, and that one spins off. Leons is going to get whistled for over the back.
Yeah, and yet another opportunity there for Bradley halfway down, and Darius Hannah can't believe that one didn't go. Malvi Leons trying to keep the play alive and gets whistled for over the back. Just his first foul of the game, though.
Yeah, that was a huge key for Brian Wardle and his staff. Stay out of foul trouble, something they couldn't really do in the loss at Murray State. Jashawn Henry, the only Brave, with multiple fouls in this one. Off the fingertips of Moore, he regains. Now downhill, Anderson fakes on a three, and that one's sent away by Hannah. Still 7 to shoot. Smith gives it back to Moore. Deep three from Wood is too strong. Davis the rebound, and Dean's out and running.
Dean looking for options, and there's Hannah right down Main Street.
And this one with the finesse lays it in, and he gives Bradley their first lead of the afternoon.
Yeah, great job there. You know, Davis gets the rebound for the Braves, finds Duke Dean immediately in a beautiful bounce pass right into the breadbasket for Hannah, who lays it in and gets the Carver Arena faithful going.
I beg your pardon, it's the Braves' first lead since early on in this ball game. It's been 14 game minutes since that point. Perry has it, 8 to shoot, Tavanainen on him. Yes. The prolific scorer launches from three, and Hannah the rebound.
Yeah, that's an opportunity. He's going to look to try to go one-on-one, settles for the three, and Bradley with an opportunity.
Dean off the mark. Leons doesn't give up, and one.
Wow, that just perfectly summarizes Malvi Leons right there. Keeps the play alive. Looks like Bradley isn't going to get anything out of the possession. Terrific hustle. And this is what I love about Malvi Leons. He contributes almost on every single play. Bradley, it hardly seems like they run their offense through him. He just finds ways to get involved. And look at that hustle and fight from Malvi Leons going to the line for the old-fashioned three-point play opportunity.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. They don't need to necessarily design or run things through him because he'll find ways to get it done anyway. As Leons gets one to go, he'll head out. That was his first field goal. He's got 3 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. Bradley now up by 5 on an 8-0 run.
Yeah, and for the most part, you would say Bradley hadn't really played their best basketball in this first half. You talk about Malvi Leons and Rink Mass combining for 2 total field goals, and you look up at the scoreboard, they got a 5-point lead, doing a really good job of weathering the storm, and Murray State looking to answer. And here comes Hannah.
Waiting for it. Dean, Davis, 3. Hannah keeps it alive and lays it in.
Yeah, and it's all hustle right now from Bradley, doing everything right, getting to the loose balls, getting offensive rebound putbacks. Great job there by Darius Hannah.
Crowd electrified here at home. It's a tremendous atmosphere here at Carver Arena as they've watched their Braves go on a 10-0 run to take a 7-point lead, 1:25 to go. Murray State timeout. Again, this is a team we said earlier that's won 12 of 13 here at home. They had a win streak over a calendar year, snapped just a few games back here at home. But you look at some of the sites out there that measure home court advantage, and KenPom's got Bradley 11th in home court advantage. They're 6th in net rating here at Carver Arena, and a lot of that's what we've seen, the rim protection by Hannah Leons and the conversion on the other end. That's been the case the last couple minutes.
Oh, without a doubt, it's been all hustle from Bradley, getting out of this big lead now, a 7-point advantage with about 85 seconds left here before halftime. And, you know, Darius Hannah has been playing some really good basketball in the last 5-6 games for Bradley, and making a really, really big impact here in the first half with a couple of blocks and 6 points.
Let's see what the Racers respond with out of the timeout. Burns going downhill, cut off by Mast, loses his balance, gets it back out to Morgan. Still plenty of time to shoot. Anderson,
can shoot
deep
those.
3. As the Braves go underneath, and Hannah the rebound. Great minutes off the bench from Darius Hannah.
Yeah, without a doubt. And now let's see if Bradley can slow this down a little bit, maybe get a couple of good looks here before halftime and extend this lead.
Dean. Hannah back to Dean. He's got space in the lane. Kicked corner. Tavanainen's 3. It's good.
Be like Tavanainen heating up at the right time. Gets to February and he knocks down a big 3. He had 3 of them against ISU last time out, and he gets the crowd going again.
13 in total in that ball game. His first 3 here this afternoon. All of a sudden, the Braves are up by double digits. Anderson gets a step on Davis and a whistle and a foul. That's going to be on the floor. And the Braves did have one to give, but that will turn the shot clock off, and Murray State can play for the final possession here.
Yeah, and Steve Prohm's group really needs a bucket here to kind of get back into the locker room with a little bit of momentum and this run that Bradley is going on. You see Anderson trying to get to the cup. Really good job of being aggressive there, driving the lane. And just 14 seconds here now for the Racers to try to come up with some points.
They get it into Perry. Out to Anderson, step back three is too strong, and the Braves will have a chance here, but Hickman loses it. Burns pinballed around. Hickman has it, and the Braves use their first half timeout. With 2.1 to go.
Terrific hustle there, keeping the play alive was Burns for the Racers. Kind of gets loose off of that, and then Hickman dives in. A great timeout there from the Bradley bench. Earn that possession. And now 2 seconds to go the length of the court and try to get a good look.
So we'll see what they draw up. It's like one of those situations where you'd almost use a play that maybe you would use at the end of the game in a close scenario. You don't want to give it away, right? But at the same time, that's about the time they have to get something off, having to go the length of the court.
Yeah, maybe throw in, trying to see if you can get the pass towards mid-court range and maybe take 1, 2, at most 3 dribbles and try to get a good look. Bradley's so good at these out of timeout, whatever they draw up, do a really good job going out and being able to convert at a high percentage to see what that kind of look they come up with here.
If you're just joining us, Murray State led 21-18, and the Braves have stifled them ever since on a 13-0 run. Mass will inbound. Looks like the Racers are going to have Burns on him. Mass cannot move because it was not a made field goal. So we'll have to stay stationary. Gets it into Hanna, to Tavanainen from just beyond half court. Not this time. And the Braves will head to the locker room with a 13-point lead, much to the approval of the home crowd on their feet, as the Braves use a 13-0 run to head of the locker room up double digits. We'll step aside, take a timeout. Back with first half stats, highlights, and more. You're watching the Valley on ESPN.
I just got the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from US Cellular. With nightography, it can take selfies in low light. Click.
Amazing. Can it go back in the bag?
Yeah, it can go back in the bag.
Okay.
The new Samsung Galaxy S23, free for everyone from US Cellular.
How does Popeye's chicken sandwich get so crunchy, juicy, and tasty? We make everything with love. Make your taste buds dance for $4.99.
Love that chicken from Popeyes.
Halftime at Carver Arena, Bradley out to a 10-point lead, but it wasn't always this way, Matt McClain. Murray State got off to a great start.
Got off to a really good start, had a kind of 5 points off the get-go, and since that point, you know, Murray State was really kind of in control of the game. Bradley did a good job staying within distance despite not really playing tremendous basketball. And Murray State was doing it kind of all different ways. Perry got going a little bit. You see the mid-range jumper here. Burns was involved a little bit early on as well. We saw a 3-pointer from Wood as well. But Bradley did a good job just kind of staying within distance. See a 3-pointer there from Zeke Montgomery. Rink Maston and Malvi Leons were relatively quiet in the first half, but it got really, really loud here. About 2.5 minutes left in the first half. Bradley goes on a 13-0 run. We saw some great defense from on both sides of the floor from the first half, but that last little segment there from the Braves really went on a great run because of some defense from, you know, Darius Hanna had some big blocks and then got out in transition. See right here, Darius Hanna with the hammer. That was earlier in the half. And then really the floodgates opened there at the end when some really good second chance opportunities and getting out in transition. Bradley able to get out to this big 10-point lead here at halftime.
Yeah, as we said repeatedly, back to a 13-0 run. This at 3 that you saw just nearly was the one that tied it and started that run. But the Braves at halftime shooting 59% from the floor. We've had some statistical challenges with some of the programs here, so we'll go ahead and get as much as what we have right now. But Murray State looking good in most categories early on. Like I said, both teams taking care of the basketball. The Braves really took over in the waning moments of that first half.
Yeah, and what's been huge for Bradley so far this afternoon has been their bench. You got 14 points coming off of the bench and kind of getting scoring everywhere. That's been kind of one of the big boosts for Bradley this season is a balanced scoring attack. And well, you have a huge performance from Darius Hanna coming off the bench with 6. Christian Davis, who hasn't played much, the last 10, 12 games of the Valley season, comes off, has a huge 3, plays some tremendous defense as well, too. So, Vile Tavanainen had a 3 off the bench as well. So, Bradley's doing a tremendous job of getting points and production from everywhere up and down the roster.
And right now, Darius Hanna leading the way with 6 points for Bradley. No one with more than 5 for Murray State, and that's both Smith and Morgan who have 5. For the Racers. We'll step aside, take another timeout. Back, take a look around the Valley after this. You're watching the Valley on ESPN.
Everyone gets a BK stacker.
Tiny dancer.
2 linebackers.
To each their own. Burger, swagger, satisfaction buffet.
At BK, have it your way.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico could help you save on homeowners insurance.
Nice tip. I'll give you $2 for the chair.
2? That's a Victorian antique.
Victorian antique.
Geico.
31-21, Bradley on top of Murray State. Brian Beto and Matt McLean. Plenty of other action going on around the Valley today. 5 games in total, including 1 tonight. 3 others outside of this one going on currently. And how about this? The big showdown in Des Moines. Drake all over Southern Illinois at half, 45-22. Belmont and Nashville taking care of UIC, taking care of business by 14. And then how about Indiana State? We were kind of talking before the broadcast, Matt. They got off to that great start. Yeah. Fell back to the pack a little bit, but now they've started to creep up. They're just a game behind that 4-5. They're tied with Belmont right now at 10-5 in the league. So great start in that first half for the Sycamores.
You mentioned Indiana State and Belmont and the importance of getting that 4 seed for the Missouri Valley Conference tournament and getting that first round bye. And those 2 teams are really, really hungry and playing some good basketball right now. And today you see them both with leads at halftime.
Yeah, and you got the teams taking care of business you mentioned, and every year that's important in general for seeding, but starting this year it really seems paramount to get that top 4 seed, and the teams that are in that position taking care of business so far here today. As we look at those standings ahead of Arch Madness, was just 3 weeks away. We gave them to you a little bit earlier. Drake, SIU, Bradley all tied for that 1 spot. They all play each other again once, including today. Bradley will be at Carbondale next Sunday. They'll host Drake in the season finale on the 29th of February. And then Belmont and Indiana State, like you said, lurking just right behind them. Belmont with the tiebreaker over Bradley, too. Bradley the tiebreaker over Indiana State. This is such the media fan guy in me right now, breaking down all the scenarios. It's like, just win, baby, right?
Oh, absolutely. And Bradley's doing a good job in this one right now, but not trying to look too far ahead. Obviously, you mentioned that last game of the regular season where they could potentially be playing against Drake for a chance. Maybe the number 1 seed is on the line, the regular season championship. But, the way Drake is playing right now, we've seen the last, 3 halves that they've played. They've just absolutely blitzed a really, really good Murray State on their home court and then taking care of business right now against Southern Illinois. I mean, there are some really, really good teams in this conference, and right now is a great time to be playing your best basketball. There's a lot of teams that are playing. Bradley's playing really good right now. Drake's playing really good right now. Indiana State, you've mentioned, is going on a big run right now. So a lot of teams really having a good idea, a good chance to move forward, and 5 games left. It's a good time to be playing your best basketball.
And 20 minutes of action still left to go here in Peoria. We'll step aside, take one more time out. Second half of action between Bradley and Murray State's coming at you next.
Everyone gets a BK stacker.
Tiny dancer.
2 linebackers.
To each their own. Burger, swagger, satisfaction buffet.
At BK, have it your way.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
If you're an undercover agent, you need to be undercover.
In position.
And if you want to save by bundling home and car insurance, you need Geico.
In pursuit.
Just about ready to get rolling here in half number 2 between Bradley and Murray State. And Matt, still 20 minutes of action left, but in that last 12 minutes or so, 10 minutes, the Braves defense was just stifling against the Racers.
Yeah, and it's a big reason as to why they have this 10-point advantage this evening. Bradley making it really difficult for Murray State to really run their offense at a high percentage. And you got to give the Racers a lot of credit. They came out and executed their game plan pretty much to exactly what they wanted to in the first half. You know, minus the last maybe 5 minutes. You know, they were doing a good job slowing down the pace, getting some good half-court looks, getting Perry involved, getting Burns on the offensive glass. You know, doing a really good job. And then all of a sudden, it's like almost Bradley turned a switch on Brian and really just kind of pushed the pedal to the metal and got out in transition. A couple big blocks from Malvi Leons and Darius Hannah defensively got Braves out in transition, scoring there, and you know, knocking down a couple of threes helps as well too. So a really good job Bradley there, really taking some of that momentum into the halftime break.
Duke Dean to inbound, gives it to Hickman, and the Braves will open up with possession here in the second half. High ball screen for Hickman. Corner, Montgomery driving baseline. Shields his body from his defender and gets it off the glass for 2.
Yeah, and Rick Mass doing a good job sealing off Burns there as Montgomery's going to drive baseline. Just seals off his man, and Montgomery just a little bit of Euro step right into the lay-in. Nice offensive set there from the Braves.
Burns, power dribble is cut off by Mass. Good discipline by the big man. Lost it on his way in. Burns recovers, kicked in the corner. Open 3 is no good, and Hickman tracks it down, and now the Braves might want to run. They find Leons, who lays it off the glass.
Yeah, great transition offense there for Bradley. Get the ball to Duke Dean and watch him go. Zooms it down the court. Leons the easy lay-in. Nice 4-0 start here for the Braves, boosting this run up to 17-0 going back to the first half.
Moore on the hesitation, out back to Smith.
There's
he
Dean.
Lost it. Dean sliding in, and he got there first, and he's fouled by Smith.
Yeah, tremendous hustle by Duke Dean going face first. Slides right into that one, gets the ball and gets fouled. Love the effort there from the Braves. And once again, all that started by the probably, in my opinion, the leading man for Defensive Player of the Year in the Valley, too, and Malvi Leons getting a hand to that one and getting the Braves a possession. You see Zeke Montgomery drive down Main Street and get fouled. He's going to go to the line for 2.
So Montgomery to the stripe. He got the Braves started with the scoring with the 3. He actually had the team high 11 points against Murray State in the Braves' defeat about 5 weeks ago or so, and he knocks down the first.
And one of the things that's so underappreciated about Zeke Montgomery, his ability to see the replay, to drive the basketball, see him knock down the second free throw. You know, everybody talks about Montgomery, hey, he's a 50% three-point shooter, but he's also a tremendous driver to the hoop, gets to the lane, gets fouled a lot too, gets to the free throw line. So his offense has really blossomed so far this year.
He's got 7 for Bradley. He's got 4 of their 6 here in the second half. As going back to the first half, the Braves are on a 19-0 run. And now under 10 to shoot for the Racers. Burns gives to Moore, splits a pair of defenders, and he'll shoot 2 with a chance to finally break this long drought by Murray State.
Yeah, really athletic drive there. Had a good job getting into the painted area and met with some resistance. Kind of jumps up in the air, did a little bit of like a 180. Gets the shot up. Really unique play there, and Moore goes to the free throw line. Like you said, Brian, you know, Racers really hoping they can end this big run by the Braves, and Moore gets an opportunity here.
And the one thing the Braves wanted to do was keep Murray State off the line. And Moore an 80% foul shooter, but this is a very good free throw shooting team, and they get there in high volumes as well. And so far, Murray State hasn't really been able to get to the stripe much. That might be a big key for them here in the second half.
You mentioned it, they get there a lot, and they shoot at a pretty good clip, you know, almost 74% from the line. And doing a really good job thus far as Bradley limiting their trips to the line. And now you see him knock down a couple of free throws and pick up a little bit of a full court press.
Deep pass for Leons. Mast spins quickly on the reverse with the left.
Yeah, Smith was asleep on that one. Looked like Rienk Mast was going to maybe try to back him down. No such case there. He goes right to the lane, comes back, gets a block shot, but Zeke Montgomery going to get called there for a little bit of a reach. I beg your pardon. You're going to get that one on Duke Dean.
So that's 2 on Dean, and Jashawn Henry set to check in. He was the lone Brave that was in some semblance of foul trouble in that first half. So the Braves haven't seen a ton of him so far today. And back to the line is Moore, where he's now 3 for 3.
Yeah, Moore is one of those players who's really had a big impact on Murray State here. He started the last 7 games. Since he's been inserted into the starting lineup 8 games ago, I mean, he's just been absolutely terrific. You know, averaging almost 18 points per game. He's playing almost every minute of every game, averaging over 35 minutes a game in the last 6 games for Murray State. 25-point performance against Belmont, and a player who's been really key to their success as of late.
Skip it in the corner for Leons. Finds Mast. Hickman cut off. Mast again, top of the circle. Hands to Dean, 8 to shoot. Mast driving in, spins middle, lost it. Burns takes it away. And here come the Racers the other way. Moore once again throws one up, didn't get the whistle. And then a whistle and a foul that's going to go on Burns.
It's going to be his 3rd. Love the hustle there, but a foul you really don't want him picking up as a player so integral to their success. There's a loose ball foul there by Burns.
Get another look as Moore's trying to get to the line, clearly trying to draw some contact. Good job by Bradley on that sequence to not oblige. As Dean will bring it up. Right side Leons. Gets it into Mast.
Run the offense through the big man. Let him go to work. Is Murray State going to help?
He finds Henry underneath with great position, and he finishes with the left.
Terrific block-to-block offense right there. Rienk Mast looks like he's going to take his man one-on-one, spins baseline. He sees that his teammate's in a better spot than him. Nice little pass over to Jashawn Henry, has his defender sealed off. Easy bucket there from Henry.
Burns drives in, cut off. He's caught, gives it to Smith. Back to Burns. A whistle and a foul is going to get called on Rienk Mast. And Murray State will inbound. 20 to shoot, 3 fouls on both sides here to begin the half. It took a long time for either team to reach the bonus in that first half. And they get it into Smith quickly. Here's Perry.
Brad doing a terrific job playing the passing lanes right now, denying a lot of these weak side looks, and nice shot fake.
And a 3 splashed in by Jacoby Wood after he got Dean in the air. First field goal in quite some time for the Racers. Leons can answer. Dean kept it alive, but it's going to be out on him. And it'll be Murray State basketball when we come back. 15:51 to go. Bradley led by 10 at the break. They've stretched that out to 13 here right on the Valley on ESPN.
And what if I want a new car?
State Farm's here to help.
What if I want a new career? He bouncing it, he bouncing it, he bouncing it, he bouncing it again, he bouncing it again, he bounced it really quick, he bounced it again, he ran and bounced it, he bounced it, he bounced it, he bounced it again, he bounced real quick. Feel free to jump in. He bounced again, he bounced again.
At State Farm, we're there for your what-ifs. Get a quote today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I started in 1951 when I was 14 years old. A gentleman by the name of Joe O'Brien, he told me, he said, I've had planes, I've had motorhomes, I've had big houses, I've had little houses, Wayne. He said, I've had everything that I've ever wanted, but he said, I've never appreciated anything more than a motorcycle. You get on it, you go where you want to go, and you don't have to answer to anybody. Sometimes you can call it work, other times it's just a pleasure to do what you do every day.
It begins here. The State Farm Missouri Valley Conference Men's Basketball Championship hits the hardwood at Enterprise Center March 2nd through 5th in St. Louis. Don't miss any of the action, as 12 Missouri Valley teams will compete for an automatic NCAA berth for the first time in Arch Madness history. To get your tickets for college basketball's premier conference tournament, visit archmadness.com now.
Bradley University student athletes live their sport, so when an injury occurs, they need a team of specialists focused and ready to get them back in action. The sports medicine doctors at OSF Healthcare, in partnership with Great Plains Orthopedics, are specially trained to restore function to injured athletes so they can get back to competing as soon as possible. OSF Healthcare and Great Plains Orthopedics are proud to be the official sports medicine providers for Bradley Athletics.
41-28 is your score. You get a look at the Bradley Huddle and Brian Wardle in his 8th season here in Peoria, and see the all-time record 2 MVC tournament championships. Bradley, of course, in contention, looking for their first regular season title in over 2 decades, and a team that we rehashed it quite a bit at this point, but it feels like it's always death, taxes, and Bradley playing their best basketball. But at the end of the season, they always continuously get better throughout the year during the 8 years that the staff's been here. And again, so far, that's been the case this year.
Yeah, and obviously dominant at home. And one of the, kind of stereotypes against this Bradley team has been not being able to, find a way to win on the road. And, you look at just true road games this year, and Bradley has a 6-4 record, including a 4-game winning streak.
It's the 9th longest road winning streak in the country currently. Of course, tied with a few others, but just shows to the
terrific
progress
defense
they made, and terrific defense out of the timeout. Ville Tavanainen fired up,
yeah.
And rightfully so. Out of the timeout, Bradley forces a shot clock violation, and they'll turn it back over with a 13-point lead.
That's us here blabbing about how good Bradley has been on the road, and obviously at home really good as well, and a lot of that comes because of their defensive prowess, and a terrific job there by Ville Tavanainen, and earned the shot clock violation. Going to get a loose ball foul here on the post feed into Henry. Going to pick up a foul on Wood.
Bradley 33rd in the nation in defensive effective field goal percentage. Again, I always say this, I won't get into the specifics of what that means, but it just speaks to their defensive efficiency. Hickman buries a 3.
Yeah, just kind of fell asleep right there. Murray State, they're going to review that one and look and see if it was a 2 or a 3, but nonetheless, Hickman able to get the wide open corner jumper to go, and then a turnover just too quick of the steps from the Racers, and it's more with the travel.
Bradley really threatening to blow this one open.
See right there, nice pass from Tavanainen. A look at the corner shot from Hickman. It appears foot was on the line, so they're going to put that one to a 2. A nice high
quick
low.
Touch pass to Henry, fumbles, regains, and scores.
Yeah, that's just too easy right there. Get the ball high post, rink mass. Henry's got his man sealed on the block, and a beautiful lob down low. Put it up and in for Henry.
Wood. Smith back now to Perry. Jamari Smith just inside the arc. He knocks down a jumper. He's got 5 points.
Smith, a viable member of their team, averaging just a little under 12 points per game and 5 rebounds. Gives them some much needed length. And it looks like Murray State here kind of going with a little bit of a zone look, but just too easy by Bradley. The bucket and the foul. Rink Mass going to go to the free throw line, and just really, really good ball movement there by the Braves.
And they picked apart the seams in that zone on that trip, and now Mast with a chance at the old-fashioned three-point play. He's 2 of 2 from the stripe this afternoon.
And some terrific vision right there by Ville Tavanainen. Perfect pass, right bounce pass, and gives Masson the ability to go with his momentum to the hoop, and then a beautiful finish.
And it gives the Braves their largest lead of the afternoon now at 18 as he'll check out. Darius Hannah, who had 6 off the bench in the first half, checks in. And a very loud 6 for Darius Hannah at that.
He always has the loudest points of the game. It seems like Darius Hannah makes plays that make a loud noise and gets the fans going. Some dunks, some big block shots. Now Bradley picking up this full court press again and falling back into a 1-3-1 zone. A lot of length once again up front.
Moore, no look underneath Burns, gets his man in the air and scores.
Yeah, terrific shot fake right there. Looked like he was going to go up and slam it home. Instead, just lays it in. A much needed bucket there by Burns.
Hickman down the left side of the lane, flips one up and in.
Yeah, beautiful job right there. Nobody stops the ball. Hickman just says, I'm going to drive it right down Main Street, lay it up with the left-hand finger roll off the glass, and it's good for Hickman.
Perry's bumped on his way in on the pass, and that's going to go on Hickman. Second on Hickman, just the 4th on Bradley. And the Racers will inbound underneath. 24 to shoot. Chasing 18, and a game where they led for much of that first half until the last few minutes. It's been all Bradley ever since. Wood up top, Perry. Shot fake, gets a step, goes up, and he'll shoot 2.
Yeah, good job by Perry trying to be aggressive, drive down the lane. And you got Darius Hannah coming over, sliding across for the block, and Perry's going to go to the free throw line.
Another terrific foul shooter for Murray State is Perry. He's 10th in the league in scoring coming into today's action, 14.8 points per game. Max down the first.
And
Montgomery in, Henry out.
Perry really a player who can, heat up in a hurry. You look at some of his scoring performances. We mentioned at the top of the show, 30-point game against Valparaiso. He scored in the 20s at least 5 other times as well, too. So a guy who can really fill it up. You mentioned one of the leading scorers in the league, sitting at 10th in terms of average. And a guy who can, really get this team back into it if he can heat up maybe here in the last 13 minutes.
More pressure being provided by Murray State, and Anderson just whistled for the bump. There you look at Anderson, who actually played high school ball with Tyrese Halliburton and won a state championship at Oshkosh North. And it's probably how he got on Steve Prohm's radar, because Tyrese Halliburton, of course, played for Prohm at Iowa State.
Now a little bit of an extended, almost 2-3 zone here from Murray State as well. Maybe a little bit of a matchup too to get the ball in the middle as Hannah let him operate.
Hickman catch and shoot 3 is good.
Yeah, really easy offense there from Bradley. Get the ball in the middle of the zone. Watch the defense collapse, kick it out to Connor Hickman, who, if our stats are correct, and we mentioned it's been a little bit on and off so far here, but he is perfect from the floor, and 15 points leading all scorers, Connor Hickman.
Moore gives to Burns. Anderson with it. Murray State looking for an entry. They finally get it into Burns, who left it short, but a whistle is going to go on Darius Hannah.
Yeah, Hannah did a really good job there, giving up a lot of weight compared to Burns sticking with him. Looked like he got a little bit of the ball in that block. Nonetheless, they call him on the foul. Burns going to go to the free throw line.
So Burns to the stripe. We touched on it earlier, but again, a double-double against Bradley in the Racers' win over the Braves in early January. 16 points, 10 rebounds. As Matt mentioned earlier, the guy that was here last year, right? That's part of this rotation. He started all 34 games a year ago as well.
Yeah, and a very efficient player, too. Leads the team with 58% field goal percentage, and he's a bruiser down there. He plays just 26 minutes a game, but those are 26 on average minutes that are very, very effective. And we've talked about his rebounding prowess. He leads the Valley in offensive rebounds per game at 3. Just a player who's always active and a big energy guy for the Racers.
Miscommunication. He was waiting for Tavanainen to pop, but he was curling in, and a turnover. And Murray State will have it out of the timeout. 11:53 to go. Bradley threatening to run away with this one, up 17 on the Valley on ESPN.
us. This isn't us. Is it?
Uh-huh.
Let's take a break from our devices for 5 days, 5 hours, or even just 5 minutes. And let's see what we find.
Hey, bud.
US Cellular. Built for us.
Everyone gets a BK stacker.
Tiny dancer.
2 linebackers.
To each their own. Burger, swagger, satisfaction buffet.
At BK, have it your way.
The Arch Madness app is the official app of the 2023 State Farm MVC Men's Basketball Tournament. The app has all the information you need to plan your trip to St. Louis, including the tournament schedule, tickets, hotel accommodations, and special events during Arch Madness. Log on to archmadness.com or download the Arch Madness app on your Android or iOS device. Now, Matt, I've already done that because, you know, I've got my all-session tickets. I know
Smart.
you have your all-session
Gotta
tickets
plan ahead.
as well. Got to plan ahead. I'm ready to go, and could be a great, it always is a great weekend, but you get a couple of extra games here this year.
Add 4 teams, and my goodness, a great weekend turns into a tremendous weekend, and really looking forward to it. A couple weekends away now at this point.
Believe it or not. Skip to Anderson. Deep contested 3 is short. Tavanainen tracks it down. Running the floor are the Braves. Henry, baseline up. Offensive foul.
Yeah, Anderson slides over, sees Henry's driving baseline. Good help side defense by Anderson. Takes that one right in the chest. And Deshaun Henry doing a good job trying to get to the bucket. Unfortunate call against him on that one.
So Henry will check back out. That's his 3rd foul. Leons is in. Get another look. What do you think?
Yeah, Henry goes baseline. Anderson was there. Looks like a pretty good call, but one of those that could go either way.
So Wood will bring it up. He actually began his career at Belmont. Played 64 games there. Gives to Moore. Off a stagger double is Wood on the ball screen. Burns caught in the lane, out to Wood. Anderson in the corner. 6 to shoot. Perry floats one up, back iron. Burns keeps it alive, bullies his way up, but he lost his balance, and then Leons collects the rebound.
Bradley trying to get the ball out in transition as well. What I really liked on that defensive possession by the Braves, really good help side defense, you know, not allowing a good look from Murray State. And now see if their defense can turn into some offense with Duke Dean.
Who bangs in a 3?
Yeah, Duke Dean, the leading 3-point shooter for the Bradley Braves this year, has the most makes in the team. Shoots it at a pretty high clip as well, 39%. And that's his 61st 3-pointer of the season.
Braves out to a 20-point advantage. They've doubled up their halftime lead. It was 31-21 at the break. And a touch foul on Montgomery with 5 on the shot clock, and that's the 8th on the Braves, so that'll actually send more to the line. And if you're Murray State and you want to try to chip your way back into this one, that's probably where you want to do it, right?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. See if you can get to the free throw line, get some points on the board while the clock is stopped. And, you know, what's really kind of crazy to me to think is you never want to eliminate a run from, you know, the grand scope of a game. But Bradley goes, you know, roughly a 4-minute stretch between the end of the first half and beginning of the second half on a 19-0 run. I mean, that's the difference in the ball game right now. Bradley with a 19-point advantage.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, just really being able to emphasize their will in that little 4-minute stretch and really put this thing out of sight for the most part. 10 minutes to go in an 18-point contest. A lot of time left for the Racers, though, if they can get something going, especially if they can continue to get to the free throw line, as you mentioned, Brian.
Yeah, Moore's frequented there here in the second half. That's 6 attempts for him in this half alone. They isolate for Mast on the low block. He spins baseline and 1.
Yeah, the help comes from Perry, but it's just not really there. I mean, Mast spins through the contact, goes right through the chest of Smith, lays it up with the left hand off the glass, scores it, plus the foul. Really great move there by Rink Mast. And what I love about that, too, is he doesn't really hold on to the ball too much. He gets it on the block, he knows what he's going to do, and goes to work.
And he's so good at reading the defense, as Murray State has been trying to figure out, do we double, do we let him go one-on-one? And he makes it so difficult because he almost always makes the right choice.
Yeah, and a terrific passer out of those doubles too. And what was key there, as I was mentioning, you know, he's moving so quick as soon as he gets the ball. The double almost didn't even matter. The help came from Perry, and it was almost non-existent. You see Mast right here, inside on the post feed, going back to Smith, and Mast picks up the foul.
Well, they've called it much tighter here in the second half after neither team shot bonus free throws in that first half. Now Murray State in the double bonus the rest of the way. Bradley in the bonus as well. Still got half of a half remaining as Smith will shoot 1 and 1. First one up and down. And the Braves will be at home on Wednesday night to take on Missouri State, a team they haven't played since all the way at the beginning of December when they had the 2-game mini start to the Valley season. The Braves with a big win at in Springfield that day. Chance to sweep the Bears and trying to earn a series split against Murray State here this afternoon. Hickman lobs it down to Mast.
You see right there, he doesn't see the help coming, so he can be a little methodical about it and put his man on skates. And right there, Rink Mast puts him in the spin cycle and gets the right-hand hook shot. Terrific one-on-one offense by Rink Mast.
Moore is cut off by Dean. Anderson needs help, gives to Moore. And Montgomery off the crossover is Moore. That one spins off the rim and Mast to collect the rebound. He's got 7 double-doubles, approaching that as well. Oh, and that one intended for Leons, who was cutting to the hoop, but Montgomery tried to kick it in the corner instead and fires one to the Bradley bench in the corner.
Yeah, what I love off that transition play right there, Duke Dean firing the ball ahead, gets his team an opportunity with a really good 2-on-1 chance. Look at that pass right on the money to Montgomery, and a slight miscommunication. Leon said, hey, just throw it ahead to me and I can dunk that one. A little miscommunication, the turnover for the Braves.
Perry gets the screen from Burns. Tries to get it in, but Bradley was ready for that. Active hands once again. They force the turnover. Dean, Mast, he's going to try it outside this time. That one's short, and Anderson, it falls into his lap.
You see Burns going to try to get to the cup here and drives. You're going to get the foul.
So that'll send Burns to the line for 2.
3 fouls for Rink Mast. Went on a little bit of a heater here as of late. Rink Mast's offense been running through him. Scored 3 field goals in the last 4 minutes for the Braves.
So Morgan will check in. He'll come in for Moore. Burns back to the stripe. And this is where Murray State's got the majority of their offense from here in the second half. First one spins out. I don't think they realize it's 2 shots.
They play to the whistle. Like,
hey,
get the rebound, and the whistle didn't come, so
Leon's trying to stay in the top 10 in the Valley in rebounding. He's like, let me get that one. One of 2 for Burns. Hickman to Leon. They're number 2 and 1 on the team in minutes. Montgomery to Hannah. Back to Montgomery. His 3 is well off the mark. Davis tried to bring it in and keep it alive. Couldn't do it, and the Racers will have it when we come back. 7:57 to go. All Bradley here today in Peoria. Up 20 on the Valley on ESPN.
Bradley University student athletes live their sport, so when an injury occurs, they need a team of specialists focused and ready to get them back in action. The sports medicine doctors at OSF Healthcare, in partnership with Great Plains Orthopedics, are specially trained to restore function to injured athletes so they can get back to competing as soon as possible. OSF Healthcare and Great Plains Orthopedics are proud to be the official sports medicine providers for Bradley Athletics.
There it is, the largest gig speed network. It's so fast, it's game on for the whole house. Okay, you spent way too much time rehearsing that. The champ here, his gig speeds run on Can't Catch Me Wi-Fi. And these upstairs all-nighters rock Wi-Fi speeds faster than a gig.
We booked a gig?
Not that kind of gig. We're talking about Xfinity X5. It puts the gig in gig speed.
Dear all-wheel drive, let's show the road what we've got. Snowy streets, we're coming for you. Icy grip, we're holding tight. Wintry mix, meh. Safety's the name of our game. Yours, Toyota all-wheel drive sedans.
Every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the great state where you'll find hearts bigger, beating truer, and always wide open. Country miles with never-ending pride, virtues and values, and colors that run deep. At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, we were born and raised in the land of Lincoln. And like you, we'll always be here, standing for all. Blue Cross and Blue Shield, nationwide strong, Illinois born.
With Matt McLean, I am Brian Beto back here at Carver Arena. Bradley on top of Murray State, 61-41. And again, like we said earlier, really nice Saturday here in central Illinois. Sunny out, mild temperatures when it comes to February. Super Bowl weekend, I'm going to put you on the spot. Who do you like tomorrow night?
Give me the Eagles.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you.
You know what, though? You can go either way on it. Two really good teams, and just hoping for a good game like we've had for the most part here in Peoria today.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your go-to Super Bowl food, though?
I mean, you gotta go wings, right?
Wings,
and a buffalo chicken dip's a popular thing.
Potato
too.
chips. You get the guac going with the. Oh.
Yeah, man.
It's 2:30 in the afternoon now. I'm just hungry.
I know. It's gonna add to the dad bod thing. Great this weekend. Appreciate that. But looking forward to it. Should have a good one tomorrow. But a lot of action going on around the Valley today. We'll keep you up to date on that one. But unfortunately, right now, none of those games close. Drake all over SIU. Indiana State just pounding Northern Iowa in Cedar Falls. Belmont over UIC at home as well. Later tonight, we'll have Valparaiso and Illinois State. Missouri State will host Evansville tomorrow, as the Braves look to remain in a first-place tie. And if that score remains, they'll be tied with the Drake Bulldogs. And I know preseason polls don't always mean everything, but they were 1-2.
They were 1-2
in the preseason poll to begin the year. Still plenty of time in this one, though. 7:40 to go, and the Braves forced to call a timeout. Steve Prohm wants to travel, didn't get the call, and Braves were able to get a timeout first. So there is our first call timeout of the second half, and we'll take it with them. 7:39 to go. Braves up by 19 on the Valley and ESPN.
Everyone gets a BK stacker.
Tiny dancer.
Two linebackers.
To each their own. Burger, swagger, satisfaction buffet.
At BK, have it your way.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
If you're an undercover agent, you need to be undercover.
In position.
And if you want to save by bundling home and car insurance, you need Geico.
In pursuit.
19-point lead for the Braves, and quite a turnaround for the first matchup between these two, Matt. And in particular, Rink Mast, who was limited to some foul trouble in that first matchup, just 22 minutes, but he's made his presence known here this afternoon.
Yeah, for sure. What we have right now, Rink Mast with 14 points in 26 minutes of play, and he's doing a really good job of being efficient, passing out of some double teams, being quick and operating out of double teams and making sure the defense doesn't have an opportunity to react. And Rink Mast has been terrific today, and really Bradley has been terrific for the most part of this contest, doing a really good job offensively and defensively, only holding Murray State just 42 points thus far.
Tavanainen spins up no, and Burns rips away the rebound. Mast on the bench currently. Hannah at the 5 for the Braves is Perry. Relatively quiet in this ball game. Has the basketball, guarded by probably the leading candidate for defensive player of the year in the Valley, as Perry comes up short on the fadeaway. And there is Leons with the rebound. He'll push it up. Guarded by Wood. They're looking to post up Hannah. Said right side for Christian Davis, who's got some extended minutes off the bench today. Davis up top, Tavanainen wide open three.
Beautiful find by Davis, spinning off the baseline, looking out front, finding Tavanainen wide open. Nobody even close. Tavanainen makes him pay. His second triple of the game.
It's good to see him get it going too, right? From the three ball, had 3 the other night, as you mentioned, 13 points and 2 here this afternoon. They're going to need his shooting down the stretch.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. You talk about how crucial his shooting is. You just look at his shooting in victories versus defeats. And Tavanainen shooting just under 40% from the three-point line, and victories and losses just 24%. So you could definitely say that Tavanainen's three-point prowess has a big, big factor to play in Bradley's success the rest of the season. Nice fade by Hickman there, too. And they got Leons underneath. Just can't seem to find it.
Hickman, top Leons. Hannah underneath, outside Tavanainen. Side steps a three. That's good.
Wow, look at that confidence from Tavanainen. Gets it on the wing. The shot fake gets his defender in the air. One dribble to the side. Ville Tavanainen is feeling it from downtown. Perfect 3 for 3 today.
Davis whistled for a foul. He thought he was straight up, but he's going to get whistled, and now Wood will shoot 2. 81% foul shooter, Jacoby Wood. Really a guy that can stuff the stat sheet as well for Murray State. We talked about leading the league in minutes. He's 15th in the country in minute percentage, just meaning the team's total minutes. Plays a higher percentage than everyone, but 14 guys ahead of him, which is incredible. But 3rd in the league in assists, 6th in steals as well. Slew of substitutions for both sides. Mast, Henry, and Dean back in for the Braves.
And you talk about Wood's prowess and what he kind of contributes to running this offense. Murray State has the second fewest turnovers in the league this season, at just over 11 a game, and he's been a big part of that in terms of, we talked about earlier, his assist-to-turnover ratio coming into the game, 115 assists on the season, and just 3rd in the Valley at that clip, and doing a really good job of running the offense for the most part this year.
Sam Murray will check in for Murray State for the first time today.
Yeah, Murray, one of those guys, he had a really big impact off the bench in that first game against the Braves. The first time we're seeing him today as Hickman goes to the cup.
Silky smooth from Connor Hickman, whose offensive confidence seems to be growing over the last few contests. Back to a 25-point margin, approaching 5 to play. Here's Moore. Moore throws one up, and it spins off, and Tavanainen there. Tavanainen steps into a three.
Oh, Ville Tavanainen, 4 for 4 from the 3. Absolutely feeling it this afternoon.
Here comes the crowd, and here comes the Braves. The route is on in Peoria. A 28-point lead for Bradley, as Ville Tavanainen has gotten red hot here in the second half. You mentioned it, 4 triples. All coming in the last few minutes, really, at least the last 3 of them. And the Braves out to their largest lead.
Let's take a closer look at what Ville Tavanainen's been able to do the last 2 games. You see the 3 here in transition. He's 4 for 4 today. He was 3 for 7 on threes against ISU the last game out. Well, before that ISU game, the 8-game stretch there, he had made a total of 3 3-pointers combined in that 8-game stretch. And you want to talk about, Bradley's been playing terrific basketball. Well, that 8-game stretch, we're getting much production from the 3-point line from Ville Tavanainen, and he just absolutely caught fire the last 2 games. And Ville Tavanainen shooting the 3-ball well for Bradley is something that the rest of the Valley does not want to hear.
Braves, again, they had 31 points at halftime, of 41 already in the second half. Still plenty of time to go. They get it into Murray. Guarded by Mast. he draws the double. That one's going to be well off the mark. Last touch by the Racers, and it'll go back over to the Braves.
And with that last Tavanainen three-pointer as well, obviously Bradley eclipsed that 70-point scored mark, and that's kind of been their magic number this year. And in games that they've scored at least 70 points, they have a 14-1 record. So, I mean, that's pretty effective right there. Obviously, Bradley hangs its hat on the defensive end and keeping their opponents below that 70-point mark. And Tavanainen again!
Make it 5 threes for Ville Tavanainen. And the senior from Helsinki is having himself an afternoon as the Braves lead has extended to 31. Perry on the hesitation. Mast whistled for his fourth. And said they're going to actually get Tavanainen on the way in. It won't be on Mast, but it'll be 2 free throws for Murray State. Out of the timeout, 3:52 to go. The Braves in control. Through it all, our Blue Cross Blue Shield player of the game is this man, Ville Tavanainen, a perfect 5 of 5 from 3. 4 of those coming in the second half. Matt McLean, he's been terrific in putting kind of the exclamation point on this one.
Yeah, without a doubt. You've seen him kind of doing it in different ways too. A spot up 3, a step to the side 3 in transition. Nobody picks up the ball. And my goodness, Ville Tavanainen has been on fire in the second half. As you mentioned, Brian, 4 for 4 from 3 in this half alone. 5 for 5. Perfect from behind the three-point line this game. Ville Tavanainen, tonight's player of the game.
And just a terrific job of battling adversity by our Chef Tech production crew. They had a different guy ready. We thought we were maybe going Connor Hickman. He deserved it as well. But Tavanainen goes 4 threes in like a 5-minute span and able to adjust on the fly.
I'm going to give Connor Hickman like a half of a player of a game here. An honorable mention. What's the guy got to do? 17 points, ties his career high, tying his effort 2 games ago at Northern Iowa. Perfect. 7 for 7 from the floor as well. So Connor Hickman, terrific, as well as Rink Mast. And Rink Mast's counterpart in the game now, too, for the first time. The big man from Serbia.
Uh-oh, here he goes again. Make it 6 threes for Ville Tavanainen.
My goodness gracious. I think it was a good call switching the player of the game. Yeah.
Fouled on his way in as Smith is Hamet Jonovic into the ball game.
And just going back to Tavanainen again real quick. We actually talked to the game, but before the game to Brian Wardle about Tavanainen and his success recently, and a lot of it, he gives it the credit, the defensive prowess and what he's been able to do. And obviously he went on a stretch of games where the 3 balls weren't going in, and done a really good job improving, his offensive game, not just shooting the 3 ball, but getting to the basket and becoming a good passer and playing some tremendous defense, and how that defensive effort has really led into offensive success for Tavanainen. And we see it again here today, 6 for 6 from 3, my goodness.
And that's going to get it for Tavanainen, and the crowd on their feet for the senior, who's had an emphatic footprint on this second half in this ball game. And the Braves going deep into the bench. Same with Murray State. Edwards into the ball game for the Racers. Pop Weathers in for Bradley. We mentioned Jonovic. Gonar Balou also in for the Braves. Hanna loses it. Here's Edwards. He's got space. Edwards to the rack, and he throws it down and one.
Wow, what a finish there from Jackson Edwards. Getting out in the front court, ducking over the Bradley defender as well, and finishing with authority. Wow. Get another look at this one. You got Hanna and Jonovic chasing him down, able to finish through the contact. Impressive dunk there by Edwards.
Braxton Stacker also in for Murray State. Davis the rebound for Bradley as Weathers, his first action of the day, he'll bring it up. As the Braves will improve to 13-1 here at home, 12-4 in league play. And again in a first place tie. Ballou, 4 to shoot. Weathers is going to have to launch. He does. High arcing three is well off, and shot clock violation will turn it back over to the Racers. And this was a 10-point ball game at halftime, and even before that, Murray State had a 21-18 lead. The Braves go on a 19-0 run if you're just joining us, and then never really looked back.
And just looking at the run overall, since that point where it was a 21-18 game, as we see the foul right here, Murray State going to go to the line. How about a run? It was 21-18, a 60-26 run by Bradley, just to really blow this game out of proportion and just take control. And don't be fooled. Murray State came to play today. They the first 15 minutes of the game right in it, really controlling the tempo. But Bradley has just been absolutely tremendous here, especially late first half and in the second half, just taking control.
Cade Hartke and Sam Hennessy will check in for the Braves. Hannah and Davis will exit. And 2 more home tilts remaining for the Braves after this one. Again, Wednesday night against Missouri State. We'll have that call for you on the Valley on ESPN. And then the regular season finale, Sunday the 29th at home against Drake, who the Braves will be tied for first place with after today's action, and some road contests sprinkled in. Corner three is good.
3-pointer for Sam Hennessy. And the Carver Arena fans are going crazy. It's been a 3-point show here in the second half, and Sam Hennessy gets involved now.
Everything coming up Braves this afternoon. Pick and roll into Murray, who glides in, and he's fouled.
Yeah, you got to love that, too. You talk about Sam Hennessy and Cade Hartke getting to the game. Is a really good article this week written about those two guys and what the energy they bring and what they do and what they bring to the program in terms of practice and game prep. And my goodness, a great moment there for Sam Hennessy coming off and getting that 3-pointer, and something he'll remember for a while, I'm sure.
And a Murray State team that's going to drop to 8-8 in league play, 13-13 overall, as Connor Linke checks in for Ballou. Let this Racers team, a team that's had some ups and downs, some big wins that went over Texas A&M earlier in the season.
You're just looking at Murray State and that victory that they had over Bradley on January 1st. And since that point, they've been 4-6 in the lead, on the verge of falling to 4-7. And really what's kind of been difficult for them in terms of their success, they just haven't been able to score many points. And defensively, their last 10 games, they've allowed over 78 points per game. And in the Valley, you're just not going to win too many games with that type of defensive effort.
Hennessy off his foot, and it'll go back to the Racers. Murray State will be just down the road this Wednesday at Illinois State, trying to get back on the winning track. Host Evansville and Valpo, and then at Missouri State as well. As Stacker, and Jonovic the rebound, gives it to Linke. And let's see if this turns into the Braves' final possession of the ball game.
Well, if it is, you have to give Bradley's offense a ton of credit in the second half for coming alive, and it all started with that run right before halftime, and then Ville Tavanainen. What else can you say other than the fact that he just kind of took over in the second half with his 3-pointers, and you saw Bradley, other guys getting involved as well, and just a really, really great offensive production here for the Braves.
Jonovic, he wants to give Hartke a look. He's doubled. Hartke crosses over, driving in. Hartke muscles one up and banks it in.
What a moment for Cade Hartke, getting it to go off the glass. What an afternoon for Bradley at Carver Arena, my goodness.
I mean, if you bought a ticket to this one, you got your money's worth, that's for sure.
Absolutely, 83 points, two walk-on score as well down the stretch. And the BU chant here.
And Murray State will just let the clock run out. And that'll do it. A dominant performance by the home team where they've been dominant all season long. And they improved to 12-4 here in league play, sit atop the MVC standings alongside Drake. They control their own destiny the rest of the way, Matt McLean, when it comes to seeding and Arch Madness, and they got to feel really good about their effort here today.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, they played absolutely tremendous basketball down the stretch here of this ball game. You know, scoring 83 points, obviously something that's great. But how about the defensive side of the floor, allowing just 48 points to Murray State and just doing a terrific job up and down, whatever part of the game you want to look at. Bradley just kind of dominates, especially in the second half. And with 4 games remaining in the Missouri Valley Conference regular season, Bradley and Drake tied for first place. And those two teams still have to play each other, Brian.
Yeah, that's going to be a fun one a couple of weeks from now. Still a few games to get to prior. We'll be back with you on Wednesday night as the Braves host the Missouri State Bears. That's going to wrap it up from Carver Arena. For my partner, Matt McLean, and our entire Chef Check production crew, who's always on the ball, does a magnificent job. I'm Brian Beto, signing off from Carver Arena. Again, the final, it's the Bradley Braves 83, the Murray State Racers 48. This has been a presentation of ESPN.